Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi, welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not new. I appreciate you guys being here so much. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're reading plenty of good books. And today I thought I would just film a little mid-year, even though we're closer to July. Well, it's the 29th of June when I'm filming this, so not really mid-year, but I just thought I would do a check-in around some of the books I've loved and what I'm most looking forward to coming out for the rest of the year. There are definitely videos that are probably better structured than this and are more of a proper mid-year freak-out tag. This isn't that, it's just me coming up with a few things that I thought of and telling you guys about it, essentially. So starting off, this year I've read 52 books so far, and I set a goal of 100. Last year was the first year, I would say, the year before that, but last year specifically was a year that I was just really super into reading, and I'd set the goal of like 50 books and I ended up reading 112. So this year I thought I'd set myself the goal of 100 because I do love reading so much and I'm just so passionate about reading and I'm just always reading. So I figured I could do it. I know I can. However, as I've said, this year is my last year of uni, and so this coming semester it's going to be a very busy one, but I still want to try and keep up with my reading as much as I can. Obviously, if I don't meet the goal, it's fine. It's just a number. It's the books that I've read that really count. But yes, that's how many I've read so far. Please let me know if you guys have set goals or if you just kind of read as you go. I do think it's important to not compare yourself to other people and how much they've read, just because, you know, you can look at some people and they've read 100 books already, but your life could be very different to theirs, so don't compare. If 50 books sounds like nothing to you, that's fine. If it sounds like a lot to you, you're just doing your best. That's all that matters. So yeah, that's how many books I've read. And then I want to talk a bit about two favourite books of mine. When I think of the books I have read this year, I've definitely read majority romance books and contemporary books compared to fantasy, which, if you guys know, fantasy is my preferred genre. I love fantasy books, specifically queer fantasy books, and I feel like in the past few months I've gotten some really good recommendations through TikTok and other creators of good queer fantasy books that I now have or am wanting to check out, and I will do so in this lower half coming end of the year kind of period. Whereas in this previous part of the year, I feel like I've read a lot of romance, which has been good, but I definitely prefer fantasy. And I have read some really good fantasy as well, but I read as much as I would like. However, the two books that so far have really stood out to me, these are both more romance contemporary books than they are anything else, and I absolutely love them. When I think of every book I've read this year, these two are instant standouts. They're the ones that have had the most impact on me and my reading, and I think if you've watched any kind of vlog of mine or even some of my videos, specifically like the Enemies to Lovers one, you would kind of know that these two books, it's not surprising that they're my favourites because of how much I love them and how much I've spoken about them. So the first one is, I'll let you guess, The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrun. I absolutely loved this book so much. Like, Dev and Charlie have my heart. 6 months later, this book was just everything I personally loved and needed in a book. It had the depth, it had the development, it had fantastic characters, it had such a good message and had such good and solid, strong, sensitive conversations around mental health and the industry and just really important topics, but was still really funny and fun and cute and just everything I wanted, and steamy, but it wasn't the focus, and I just absolutely adored it. If you saw my reading vlog, I think it's pretty obvious I love that book a lot. Same with the next book I'm going to talk about, but that so far has been an absolute standout for me. And then so is my next book, which is Only for the Fans by Nyla K. And as I've said in every video I spoke about this book has been the most surprising book of the year, because I've said before I will really enjoy Nyla K and her writing, but her tropes that she normally has in her other books aren't for me. I've really loved one of her books and it actually made my favourites of last year's video. However, most of her books are like MMF or they're just not tropes I'm really into, so I don't really read them. And so this one I just thought, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. Wasn't expecting to absolutely adore it, and oh my god, did I love this book. I'm still constantly thinking about this book. I can't recommend it enough. It is fantastic, truly. It broke my heart. It had me sobbing. It had me laughing. It had me feeling everything. And it was just perfect. I just absolutely adored it and could not recommend it more or speak more highly of it. So those are the two books that to me have just really stood out, and then I've just had the most pleasurable time reading and have absolutely just stuck with me. I don't know why I chose pleasurable. Ew. Sorry about that. But I've had the best time reading them, and I just couldn't recommend them more, and I just constantly think about them, and that's why they're my favourite books of this year. And they will remain my favourite books of this year. I also thought it would be good to recommend / just talk about a series that I've been loving. I've read a lot of books that have come out that have been already part of established series. Absolutely love them as well, but this series actually only started this year and there's been 3 books out so far. And this is the Vitali Brother Mafia series by Brie Appelou and Skylar Snow. The 3rd book actually just came out yesterday, and spoiler, it's my favourite book of the series. It is so good. I'm obsessed with this book. But this is a mafia-based series that we're following 4 mafia brothers. That's another spoiler. Sorry, should have said 3, but jokes. There's actually 4. And we're following our mafia brothers, and they all kind of have different roles in the family. They also all have very different partners, and seeing their different partners and dynamics has just been such a joy on top of the mafia aspect. I really love this series. The first book was fantastic. Again, a surprise for me because these authors have a collab series, just like a daddy series, which is not my thing. But this series has had tropes in it that I've really enjoyed. I've loved getting to see these books evolve, and at the 3rd book, I'm obsessed. And they've all come out this year, and it's just been such a good series that has released pretty consistently, which I really enjoyed. And so I thought that was worth mentioning as well, as that's a series that's just come out this year. And some other series have also come out this year, but so far like only 1 book's out in it, and this one has just been the standout series for me. Maybe because I'm reading the 3rd book while we speak and I'm absolutely obsessed, but it has been a really great series. Moving on to some anticipated books that I have, but that are coming out that I'm excited for. I've got 3 because there are definitely going to be a lot of books coming out towards the end of the year, which I'm really excited to read. But these are the 3 that I'm like, oh, I'm really here and ready to read them. They're all a part of series already, so if you are wanting to check them out, you definitely have to read the other books. The first one is the cutest one, and one that I'm both sad is ending, but also really excited to have, and this is Hearstopper Volume 5, which comes out in, I think, August or September. The copy comes out, and I'm so excited to read this. I absolutely adore the Heartstopper series, the comic series, the TV show, the cast, literally anything involving it. I absolutely just melt and adore at because it's just so beautiful. And the volume 5 comes out, and I'm so excited to get my hands on this because I have all 4 of the physical copies, and I'm really excited to add the 5th to it and also to read it and just see the evolution and growth of Charlie and Nick. I think has been just such a joy throughout this series, and especially as they've gotten older, you've gotten that more development as well, and I just couldn't recommend the series enough. But I'm so excited for this 5th volume to come out, which I believe will be the last volume, which is really sad. I really don't want it to end, but I'm also really excited to read it. So yes, I'm sure there will be many tears shed when it comes to this book, but I can't wait to have the physical copy and to read it. Next we have Caught Stealing, which is book 2 in the Late in You series by C.E. Ricci, which the Late in You series, if you don't know, is book number 1 is Iced Out, which was my favourite book of last year. I love that book so much. Again, another one I've spoken about so many times on this channel, and this is book 2 in the series, and it comes out in December. So see Ricci, absolutely adore her, love her work, but she's not known for releasing books quickly, that's for sure. So it's been a year since, it'll be a year gap between books. We got the first book in December last year, absolutely adored it, and then this book comes out in December as well. So like the blurb's not out, the cover's not out, none of that is out yet. We just have a date in December, and I just pray it doesn't get knocked back because I love her. I loved the first book so much, and I can't wait for this book. All we know so far is this is Holden's book, which I am excited to read Iced Out again and then check for clues of Holden and see what we've been told about him, so that then I can go into the book. And this is what I'm really looking forward to because, as I said, see Ricci doesn't release a lot of books in a year, very much, and so anything she does release I'm always very excited for, but this one in particular because I just love the hockey series she writes, so good. I love her college settings, they're always fantastic. The Dare You book I've also read, loved last year. Book 2 in that I was hoping was coming out this year and I could add to this list, but it comes out next year, so I can't. But yes, Late and New book 2 does come out, which I'm really excited for. Then we have An Oath and a Promise by Adelaide Blaike, which this is the 4th and final book in the Reason series, which if you have followed my journey with this series, you know how much I love it. But this is a fantasy series around my 2 favorite characters. We have Ren and Matthias, and I've just loved every book in this series so much. Genuinely adored every book in it, and I can't wait for this final book to see how it wraps up, because the last book definitely ended on a not even slight, it did end on a cliffhanger, but we do know it's going to be a happy ending in the end, so that's why I wasn't so stressed. But this last book will definitely have the height of tensions kind of come to, which is what's been underlying in the plot and building up throughout all 4 books, and I'm really excited to see how it ends and just to see where Ren and Matthias are at in this 4th book compared to the first book. Even in the 3rd book there's just such a difference in their characters, and you've really gotten to see that development and that growth, and I've just adored it so much. So that comes out in October actually, which is super exciting. Again, I'm a bit nervous, but I don't think my heart will be broken. I'm crossing my fingers anyway. And yes, that one is coming out and I'm really excited. So those are 3 books that I know are coming out and that I'm really, really happy are coming out and that I can't wait to read. However, like I said, I'm sure there'll be other books that come out that end up being favorites as well. Those are just some that I'm really anticipating coming out. Next, I also just want to quickly show some of the physical books I want to get read this year. I have made a video that was just all of the physical books I have, so these also come from there. However, I just wanted to quickly show you guys some of the books that I do want to read that are physical books that I need to get done this year. Not even need to get done, like I really want to read them, I'm just really shit at reading physical books. However, I really want to read these, so these are some of them as well. I'll start off with the Sapphic books I want to read first, and again there's a lot of other Sapphic books I really want to get around to reading. So first up we have I Kiss Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. This is one that I'm really wanting to read because a lot of people on TikTok have really said it's great. I also love Casey, like Red, White and Royal Blue I love, and I'm really intrigued to see what this is about because I know it is kind of like a high school I don't think it's murder, but it's a mystery, and I am down for that. I also really love the colours and cover for this, especially the hardcover, it's so pretty, and this is one I want to get around to. Next up we have one I've actually started reading this and I want to finish it soon, and that is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Really want to read this. I have started it. I actually got it as an audiobook and it's really funny so far, and so I want to pick it back up and continue listening / reading it because I know it's meant to be good, and I also would like to continue the rest of the series because I like the other characters we've met so far that have their own books. So that's one I want to read and finish soon. Then we have one I am specifically saving for Christmas time, and that is Kiss Her Once For Me by Alison Cochrun. I mean, I know I'm going to love it because it's Alison Cochrun and I love her. And this is a sapphic Christmas novel, like, hello. So I do want to read this, but I think I'm going to save it towards Christmas time because I know that's kind of when it's set and I would like a nice cozy Christmas read, and I think this could be it. Then moving on to my fantasy pile, basically, is what this is. We have Dark Rise by C.S. Packet, which is a YA fantasy novel, and I'm really, really intrigued to read this because I believe this is kind of like this is the latest book she's released, but it is a first in a series, I believe, and also first in a series besides the other series I'm going to talk about, and it's YA compared to the other one being more adult. So I love this cover. I've said that before, but I love this cover so much. And this is about magic. This is about Will, who we're following, who lives in London. That's all I know so far, but I really want to read it. I really do. So this is like high on my priority list. Then we have another one that's high on my priority list. I haven't read anything by this author. I know The Night Circus is really popular, but it's just not really my cup of tea and I haven't read it. However, this book, I know I think I'm going to love, and that is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I mean, this is recommended all the time. We're following Zachary, and it's kind of like it's a mystery fantasy regarding books, I believe, and I'm just really intrigued and I think I would really enjoy it. Again, this is a pretty cover, however there's a B cover that is stunning, and I'm so sad because I got this one and then I saw the B one and I was like, damn it. But if I love it, I'll probably get like a nice version of it. Not that this isn't nice, but like the version I want. Then we have another one that I have, and this is A Strange and Stubborn Endurance by Foz Meadows. I'm really intrigued again to read this. This is another queer fantasy book, another one I've seen recommended a lot on TikTok, which is where I often get a lot of recommendations, if not from like the Kindle store that I look at and the people I follow. Queer book talk, that's better, is really, really good, and I would really recommend going on there if you're looking for good suggestions. So this is one, again, I know people have said is really good, and I'm really excited to read this. And then also A Taste of Gold and Iron, A Taste of Iron and Gold. I also really want to read that. I just don't have a physical copy of it, but that's also a similar like queer fantasy book that's often recommended alongside that one. So those are two that I also want to read. And then my most anticipated series slash books that I have shown you guys is the Captive Prince trilogy. This is one, if I don't get it read this year, you guys can comment and say, Sienna, you're stupid. Maybe don't call me stupid, but you know, be like, get to it, girl. This is getting ridiculous. This is a series I mean, I've said how much I want to read it, and now I have it. So now I just need to actually do the reading. So yes, this is the series that I'm most anticipating reading and loving. So those are just some of the physical books. I have others, but those are the main ones that I'm prioritizing and I'm going to read. It's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. And then lastly, this is more TV related, but I thought I would touch on a TV show that I've loved the most this year, which is, again, if you haven't heard me talk about it, probably lucky you, but Yellow Jackets, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Could not recommend a TV show more, genuinely. So amazing. The second season ended a few weeks ago, and it's been quite sad, to say the least, without it. However, that has been my top show of this year, and unless Stranger Things comes out this year as well, maybe that would overtake it. But that's been my favourite show. I've absolutely adored it. It is just everything I've ever wanted in a show, and I love it. And then a show that I'm most looking forward to that's coming out again is Hearstopper, and this is season 2, which comes out in August, like the 3rd of August. In about just over a month it comes out, and I can't wait. We get the Paris trip. We also get some sadder times. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't read the comics, but there are definitely some heavier topics that are brought up, which I think are done so well. And just getting to see Kit and Joe, and the rest of the cast obviously, but Kit and Joe portray Nick and Charlie so perfectly, and getting to see the difference between season 1 and season 2, where they have that comfortability with each other, and you can tell they're just such good friends and they're just such beautiful people, and I think they do the characters so much justice. And then just getting to see that evolution in not only their acting but just them as people and them as characters. I'm so looking forward to it. I really am. Nothing makes my heart happier than Heartstopper. I've watched the series countless times. I really can't remember how many times I've watched it, and I can't wait for season 2 just to do the same thing. And I do think I'm going to film a reaction video for you guys, because how could I not? It's so beautiful, and if you guys have not watched it, please go and watch it. It is just so wholesome and beautiful and just everything, and I can't wait for this next season. That's about it in TV shows that I think are coming out that I'm most looking forward to. Those are some of the books that I've read, some of the books I'm looking forward to, where I'm at, what I've watched, what I'm looking forward to watching. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know down below what you guys are most looking forward to reading. If there's any books you think I would really enjoy, I'd love to hear about them. Let me know what your goals are towards the end of the year, if there's anything in particular you're wanting to get around to. And have a fantastic day, a fantastic week. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!